So there are all kinds of people out there. Here's a professor emeritus of biochemistry presenting to the Oregon State Legislature on how poisonous microwave technology is. This is actually what goes on in the classroom right here. These are kids basically doing their work on their iPads. As you can see here, it's in this girl's lap, it's in this kid's lap, it's over here, it's in this child's lap. And this is really what children are doing at school now. I want to pass through all these. This is actually a photo that came from the superintendent's website in Fullerton, California. The antenna is right on his zipper. This is a Fullerton elementary student. I would venture to say he's probably in maybe first or second grade. And that's how he spends his day. This is Mr. Obama telling us how Wi-Fi is something that we need in all of our classrooms. He's basically gone on the warpath and demanding that it gets put into all of the classrooms. This is what we can expect in college. If your children manage to get into college, this is the setting where the laptop is in their lap all day in lecture, and that takes place at home and in the classroom. So they're not really going to get a break. These are just some of the pictures of the people involved in this debate. We have state assembly people, senators, principals. Let me get down to where we need to look here. School board members. Even the church is making a joke out of this. This is a pastor at one of my churches I used to go to. Made jokes about how everybody loves the iPad after I've tried to warn him about what this is doing to the children. Time Magazine had an interesting article about the Xbox. The Xbox is the video game system that the children play with. And inside the Xbox is software that was designed by Bill Gates himself. He's proud of his device. And Bill Gates actually looks as the humans as a deadly animal. The world's deadliest animal is the mosquito. Second in line to the world's deadliest animal is the human being. That's on gatesnotes.com. That's off his website. Bill Gates is obviously heavily into vaccines. That's his claim to fame. He's now in the Common Core. Common Core is a curriculum that is designed for our children, aside from the dossier gathering and the intrusion in privacy and re-engineering history and thinking skills. It demands a wireless delivery system. This is very important here. This is the Bill and Melinda Gates headquarters. If you'll notice, there are 3 6-story buildings in the shape of what look to me like magnets, but note the V shape on the top. This is what happens if you want to get into school. You got to put about 65 shots into your kids, and then they're going to get wireless technology. Here's Mr. Obama pushing it still. He's a real big fan of Apple and the iPad. This is Project Inkwell. This is basically a consortium of the corporations that are involved in education. And this is their manifesto. And this is the aorta of their manifesto. So in other words, this is the heart of their manifesto. The last in-class distribution of bandwidth must be wireless. This is demanding wireless exposure in the classroom by Project Inkwell, backed up by Obama's Connect Ed and E-Rate and all of these other entities that are driving wireless exposure by force. This is a kindergarten classroom in Southern California. As you can see, this girl has a wireless device on the table here, and she's also got a earpiece in her ear. We all know that a speaker has a wire, it has a coil, it has a magnet, and what happens is when you have the wired headset going up to the head, you're actually delivering and amplifying the microwave energy to the brain. Fullerton recently started handing out iPads. One day he handed out 6,000 of them in one day. That was what they did. Here's the Georgia Guidestones. This talks about how the plan is to maintain humanity under a $500 million balance, in perpetual balance with nature. This is where the future looks like for the planet, folks. This is the Agenda 21, ICLEI logo. Some of the people. This logo right here is very interesting. Agenda 21 is basically, some people like to look at it as engineering society, building codes, the way we live, the way we use water, the way we use our resources. But if you look here, you have parents letting go of their children as they fall away from them. And that has a lot to do with what's going on with the Common Core, as well as the anti-family legislation and all of the things that are at work. That logo right there is very telling. This is really, really what I want to get into. And that is, what do wireless emissions do to human reproduction? Well, look, folks, the studies are not out there on the eggs. They're not available. They're under lock and key. I know they've done them because all of the trouble they've gone through to put this infrastructure into place, and the frequency of microwave emissions that they've chosen and the locations of these antennas are all, in my opinion, a strange accident. So they're going to spend about $5 million on a headquarters in Cupertino, California.